Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back. So today we have a new flight controller, and this is from Diatone. It's their new Mamba, and they have made a lot of changes to both the ESC as well as the flight controller. Now let's take a look at what it comes with. They do provide you this really nice cover here, which I really like, and it goes about telling you where everything goes. But if you take a closer look at UART4, you find what? Bluetooth. Yes, this has a Bluetooth module built right into it. And it doesn't even end there. It has a 9-volt regulator, 5-volt regulator, OSD, MPU 6000 gyro, not the ICM 2062, which is really great. I like the MPU 6000 gyro. I have no problems. And anyways, Betaflight stopped supporting the 32K, so it's kind of useless really. And as you can tell, we do have some onboard flash memory. Now let's take a look at some of the things it comes with before we take this apart and take a closer look at the ESC. Now the noise testing will be upcoming soon on a 6S. And they do provide you with a bunch of rubber O-rings, and which I kind of find nice because it's already soft mounted, so if you wanted more you could add more. So that's a huge little addition. They give us a capacitor here. I don't know what capacitor is this actually. So as you can tell here, they also do provide us with a capacitor. This is a 470 microfarad 35 volt Rubicon, 35 volt. I don't know if it's not Rubicon, it's something else. I don't know what this is. Here we get an Xt60. We also get our wire and a spare wire to connect our ESC to our flight controller. So let's start taking this guy apart and taking a closer look at it. Okay, so before going to the ESC, let's talk about the flight controller here. Now this is using an F7 microcontroller unit. It's not an F4 anymore. So that is one of the biggest upgrades here. The other upgrade is built-in Bluetooth, so you will be able to connect to this via the SpeedDB app over Bluetooth on your phone. So this is a really nice step up, and they have pads for everything and connectors for everything. It's a really well thought out piece of hardware. And this is a huge step from their previous setup. And if you don't know where everything goes, it's really nice that they have made this little extra PCB board. So it'll give you an idea where everything connects to, as you can tell right here. And the layout so far seems to be pretty good. They have the receiver in one section right there. And what's really cool is now S-Bus or I-Bus could go here. So they should have put this as receiver or RCS or something. So S-Bus, I-Bus, everything will go here since this is an F7 flight controller. Next we have the ground, and here we have TX2 available for something with even a power rail for it. The LED, the boot button right there. So I'm guessing the LED, what the hell is the LED then? So we have boom and LED here. I think this is supposed to be boot and not boom, which is this one here. So we have the boot button, and if we take a look at the bottom side, we have this button here. Now this could do two things. One is it could reset the Bluetooth, but I highly doubt it. I truly believe it's a button to control your RGB LEDs, because if you take a closer look here, we have a 2812 LED controller. So that's what I think it's for. I could be wrong, but I'm 90% positive that's what the bottom button is for there. And here we have another power rail for UART3, which is also a really nice addition here. These little edge pads right here that are sticking out are for LEDs, as you can tell. 5-volt ground LED, 5-volt ground LED, all of them, all of these right here. So they really want you to pimp out your quad, I guess, with LED, or they might have a quadcopter coming that's just full spec'd out with some sort of LED. And as you can tell down here, we have the RSSI, UART4, UART3 with a power rail, UART6 with a power rail as well. And what do we have? We even have more LEDs. Oh my goodness, we have more LEDs here. And if you take a closer look here, we have VID and TX3. This is for your VTX, so video output, which is this one. And then this one here is going to be smart audio in order for you to control your VTX, if it does support that protocol, to change channels. Now if you wanted to connect your camera, where you want to go is, first we have these two, which are the buzzer. So you want to go to the other three, which is going to be 5-volt ground, and then this is going to be the yellow wire coming in from your camera. And we also have a connector, and as well as pads. If you wanted to solder your ESC directly to the pads or use a connector, you can do that as well, which is a really nice feature and something really great to have. So what I can immediately tell is they took their time developing this board, and what I can immediately see is they've put quite a lot of things here, but at the same time it feels so minimal. Isn't that crazy? I mean, look at it. It's just it's really thin too. It's like, I think like 1.1 millimeters. So we have memory. So they gave us flash memory. We have OSD, MPU 6000 gyro. We have our Bluetooth section here. I think this is a 3.3 volt regulator, and on the bottom we're going to have the 9 volt regulator. And not only that we have a 9 volt regulator, they also provided a TVS diode, which is a transient voltage suppressor, so it's kind of like a capacitor in a way, and it's a really nice protection. It's, you know, anything extra always helps. So that's a really nice addition here. I really like that. So this board is supposed to take VBAT. You're not supposed to power this up with 5 volts because it has a 9 volt regulator on board. So it will take battery voltage. Keep that in mind. And as you can tell here, it takes up to a 6S LiPo input, and this is supposed to be and intended for 6S usage. Now we have the 4-in-1 ESC. Now the previous 4-in-1 ESC was pretty good. This one is going to be better. And why do I say that, and how can you say that without even testing it? Well, immediately right off the bat, if you take a look at the FETs, in the previous model, they used one P channel and one N channel MOSFET for each phase. That works great. But 2 N channels is the best way to go. More efficient, less heat, and just overall better. I mean, it depends on the FETs, obviously, but 2 N channels is always better than a P and an N in this type of situation. So here what they've done is they went straight for 2 N channel FETs, which is really nice. We have current sensing, which is going to be a dedicated line for the current sensing there. And this is a BL32 ESC and rated up to a 6S. Now here, on the bottom, they've also conformal coated it, which is really nice addition that they've done that. And as you can tell, it's a 50 amp theoretical ESC. And overall, it's a really nice board here. And for the microcontroller units, they're actually using the F1 microcontrollers, which is the F0 basically, the STM32. We have 3.3 volt for all of these guys. And the layout looks really nice. Filtration looks really minimal, actually. Too small for my liking. And that's the reason I think why they also provide us with this capacitor if you're running on a 6S, which I highly recommend you add a capacitor if you're running on a 6S, and anybody would do the same thing. Even the most expensive ones have the probability of burning if you aren't using a capacitor. I think currently this is the most bang for your buck until I noise test it, because what they give you here is a lot. It's quite a lot. Bluetooth, flash memory, F7, TVS diode on the main rails for this guy so it doesn't burn himself out. So here's the new Mamba F7 stack, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I truly believe this is the most amount of bang for your buck you can get. Hopefully not a literal bang, but hopefully like a good bang, if you know what I mean. And well, I'll have everything linked down below, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.